everyone, and welcome back to Empkin Gardening. Today is a nice thunderstormy summer day, and the humidity is nice and broken right now because it did just rain, so it's wonderful to be out in the garden again. We're going to be working in our other shade bed. Our last shade video, we were working with just perennials, so you got to see a good variety of different types of blooming shade perennials that you can have in your shade bed to offer different textures and different green hues, or we did a lot of different color schemes happening in that bed. With this shade bed, it gets predominantly full shade, but it also gets some morning light and some afternoon light. But we're going to be working with some annuals that love shade. Again, going back to a lot of, my friends are struggling with what to put in their shade beds. There's a lot of blooming things that you can put in your shade beds to really make them pop and really showcase a lot of color. So we have a variety in front of you that we're going to be going through and planting up in this particular shade bed. Let's first go through what is here already. So Ryan did an amazing job leveling out this whole entire area and putting down the bricks to really just make it a little bit more of a formal space before we started planting in it. So what's already here is we have two toffee tart Heucheras from Proven Winners, and we have a black pearl Heuchera in the back. The toffee tart has that light, really light pale pink bloom that's out of bloom right now, and the black pearl has more of a more concentrated pink bloom. So those are perennials. They come back every year. Right in front, last year at the end of the season, we got a Velveteeny smoke bush. This is not the correct place for the smoke bush. Smoke bushes need full sun, and what ended up happening is it was at the very end of the season into fall, and kind of like our rule of thumb is it's better to have the plants in the ground for the winter than it is to attempt to winter over in like a garage or like if you don't have a greenhouse. If you have a greenhouse, you're good. But a shed or a garage, it's better to have them in the ground somewhere. They have a better chance of surviving. So we had this space semi-cleared at the end of fall, so we literally just popped it in the ground, knowing that this is not going to be its permanent place, but that it would have a great little home for the winter time. So we will be moving this out, and Velveteenies stay really small. They're not like those huge, massive smoke bushes that you see in landscapes. They see really small, and they're perfect for containers. They have a really low zone. I think it's a 3. So they're really great in containers. They can winter over in containers perfectly fine. So we're going to be doing that in this video as well. We're going to be transplanting the Velveteeny into a like a barrel container looking thing. Okay, so that's what's here. The only thing that you probably can't see are our daffodils. We had a bunch of the top 40 daffodils from Color Blends in this bed. We will be probably adding more daffodils to this bed once it becomes more of like a permanent spot when we know where things are going to live. This fall we'll have a better idea of where to put more daffodils to really deck it out for early spring color. Okay, so let's go over some of the plants, the annuals, and we have 2 perennials that we're going to be putting in this bed. Alright, so first up we have 2 Coleus from the Color Blaze series from Proven Winners, and the Color Blaze series is magical because they can take both sun and full shade. They will be abundant and produce all of these wonderful foliages in both a sunny and a shady location, which is remarkable and super versatile in a landscape. So we have two that we're going to be working with today. One of them is a wicked hot Coleus. Both of these are going to get about a foot tall or up to 2 feet tall. As you can see, this is already over a foot tall. So this one, they're probably going to get into the 2-foot range. So the wicked hot, when they first come out, is like some green bordering and then kind of like an orangey red. Fading into it. And the underside of the leaves are also really pretty. Some purples that will tie into the other purples that we kind of already have going on. So this is a wicked hot Coleus, and Proven Winners has done a really great job with their Coleus. It will take them a very long time to produce blooms. Coleus do produce blooms, but Proven Winners has kind of bred that out of their Coleus in hopes that people enjoy the foliage, which is exactly why Ryan and I love Coleus, especially the Color Blaze series, is specifically for the foliage. Again, we love shade beds and the different foliage options that and textures that you can play around with. So, wicked hot. Wicked hot. That's my attempt at a Boston accent. That's not great, but great. Okay, the next one up is Newly Noir. Just a beautiful deep purple. This is going to almost match perfectly to our Heuchera and really complement the black pearl Heuchera that's already in the ground. So again, this gets up to 2 feet tall. So these will most likely be the back border or the back wall of this. All right, moving on. We have a Heuchera. This did not come with a tag, but we knew that it matched pretty close to the black pearl that was already in the bed. It reminds me more of a mahogany monster. But I don't know. It has more of a white, you can see like one last little bloom. Like, they have more of a white pink bloom. The outsides are pink and then it turns into a white. They're really beautiful. When it bloomed, it's going to continue blooming. But really beautiful, kind of lighter purple stems with a dark purple leaf, and even darker veining. I love Heucheras. So this is more of the mature size that this Heuchera is going to get. It's not going to get much bigger than this, which is perfect. Nice and sweet. Pop it in the ground and it's good to go. All right, so this plant is new this year. This is called a Fizzy Mizzy Sweetspire from Proven Winners. This is a blooming, flowering shrub that can take anywhere from full sun to full shade, which is remarkable, having a shrub, an actual shrub, that blooms in a full shade location. Wonderful. And as you could see, the blooms, when they're all closed up, are nice and tight and white, and then they open to these really delicate cream looking flowers. It's a summer blooming shrub, so some of these are spent, but you can see all of the new growth happening, ready to go. So this is going to be great back here because those bright white blooms are going to really stand out in all of this. So the Fizzy Mizzy Sweetspire gets 2 to 3 feet tall and wide. That's a pretty good shrub size. So it's already about the 2 feet. So it's just gonna bush out a little bit more in maturity. So we're really excited about this. As soon as I heard about it coming out, I knew I wanted to get my hands on one because, again, flowering shrubs in a full shade location are very hard to come by. Okay, so moving on to some more annuals. Those Coleus are annuals, but these two were perennials. So moving on to more annuals, I just popped out a couple. So we have 2 Caladiums that we're going to be planting. One is a snowdrift. So the newer leaves have the white overlay and then a dark green veining. And they actually turn into a more white full leaf. Again, it just offers a really bright pop of white in a shade garden space. And the snowdrift is full shade. However, this Caladium is a sun or full shade. This is a white wonder. Has some grass, mowed grass on it, that's okay. So it has a nice white overlay, a dark green border, and then the center is this pink spot that veins out. It's going to be really nice having these big, bold white leaves. We're going to put these more up front. They get about 1 foot to 1.5 feet. So really, we're going to keep them, I think, more towards the front. Speaking of front, right in front of you, we have 2 different types of flowering annuals. They look similar, but they're different. This is a begonia, and those are Impatiens. So this is a SureFire Rose Begonia. Full sun to full shade. Again, amazing that this plant could handle full sun and it's still going to bloom prolifically in full shade. Really amazing pink blooms with that yellow fluffy center. And these get big. 2 feet. 2 feet. They bush out. It's crazy. 2 feet tall. Give them space. So we have 2 of these. Most likely be like a border. And then for our Impatiens, these are actually double Impatiens. Oh, this one's out of bloom. That's okay. Rockapolo white. And it does have like a white double bloom. This is part shade to shade, so it's going to be great. They're going to stay this little or get almost 2 feet tall. I don't know if they'll get 2 feet tall in this location, but maybe like a foot up. So these ones are going to be more to the front of the bed. And then we have a Rockapolo orange shades. And we were really drawn to this one because it has shades of pink, like light pink, to like corals, and then some of the blooms are legit orange. So we thought that this would be really interesting paired with the Wicked Hot, and then pulling the pinks from the begonia, pulling the colors from the toffee tart. It's gonna be a good color scheme. Blooms on me. So these are double blooms, different than the traditional Impatiens with the more flat type bloom style. It just gives a little bit more interest into your flower bed. They almost look like little delicate roses, you know. So we're gonna have a lot of color back here, and we're really excited about it. So let's talk planting. So for planting, we're gonna do our normal thing. We're going to first transplant that Velveteeny smoke bush into the barrel container, and then we're going to place everything because we're not quite sure layout wise where everything is, and thank goodness Ryan's here to help with that because he is the flower man. So we'll get everything placed, and then we'll do our normal drill the hole, biotone, plant the plant, cover it up, new soil on top, and then they'll be really great to go. You might see behind me we have a wall of Hicks yew started back there. We're not going to plant those in this video. That's going to be a separate video. But we're really excited about kind of having a natural evergreen screen back here to block from our compost bin and soil housing area back there. So this Hicks yew hedge is going to live back there and fill out nicely in the future. All right, let's get to planting. Okay, so now that everything is placed, you might have noticed that there is a little bit of change that we did. So because the Fizzy Mizzy is our anchor plant, and because it's kind of like a quarter circle size, we decided to put it at the actual point in the back. It's going to have enough space to kind of fill in that 2 to 3 feet area, and it'll be the anchor of the bed, which will be great. So because we did that, we moved the 2 toffee tarts and the black pearl hoop bread that were there the same way that we moved the velvetini. So we took the shovel and went around the root ball, got as much of the root ball as we could, popped it up just like the velvetini. With these Heucheras, we did the same thing in the winter time to just plop them in the ground. So they haven't had a chance to like root in or anything, so they were still almost looking like they were in their nursery can size, you know, area. So super easy to just pop out. And this is the end product. Placement wise, we did go in and add some lungwort. This is a spot on lungwort, and it has wonderful white spots. Wonderful white spots against the green foliage. Again, this is fuzzy to the touch. And the spot on lungwort comes out with blues and purples and pinks. Really delicate flowers. The early spring. So that kind of filled in and completed the bed. Now we're going to plant. excited about the end product. Look at all of that beautiful color in such a dark area. You know, I really think the pops of white really help illuminate the space. But there again is so much interest, so much detail, and when those heucheras are blooming, it's going to be super wispy with the Fizzy Wizzy blooms. I'm really looking forward to this bed filling in and kind of all blending together. So I hope that this inspired you to know maybe that you can put blooming things in a shady space and really light it up, just like any of the other areas in your garden. Embrace shady areas. We love shade beds. They're so fun to plant in. So we hope that this inspires you to also feel that way. If you liked this video, you can comment down below. We love interacting with all of you, so please feel free to comment and ask questions or just say hi. We love talking to you all. You can subscribe to our channel if you want more content, and I really hope that you are having a great day. Bye.